Start the stream. I don't know why the capture's not quite working, but whatever. Here we are. Welcome to the stream. We're live. Presumably, yes. We're live.
Hooray!
Alright, do you need the link?
Okay, hang on. There. Okay, I got it.
Okay, you don't need the link.
I got the link. Okay, I am now posting the things in the places.
Did I press the wrong button there? I pressed the wrong button. Should I use a different palette?
Yeah.
I like my palette. You said yeah? Well, damn.
No. I said yeah. I like your palette's good.
Okay. Summer showers, just like we are having the weather today.
Yep. That's
Hello.
what's going on here in Michigan.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the pre-stream. I can't see if chat is happening, but I assume it
I do
is
not see any chat happening yet. There's one watching so far, according to my thing, and that's probably me.
Yes,
But hopefully more people will be here in a moment.
Don't Hawkeye the stats. It's creepy. If somebody comes in and you're like, hey, you, start talking in chat.
Hey, it's Cornflakes. Cornflakes says hello.
Hello. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to phase 1 of the stream. It's the beginning. The beginning. You remember that Animaniacs cartoon?
No. Which one?
The one where they, for some reason, did a whole fucking Apocalypse Now parody?
No.
Do you remember the Apocalypse Now episode of the Animaniacs?
I don't. Okay, and then we have Untethered Kite. Untethered Kite says it's for sure more than one person here. So, all right. I apologize, Untethered Kite, about not understanding your name at first.
What up, Auntie?
Auntie the Red Kite. I'm sorry.
No, I mean it's interesting the way people's brains like try to separate things like that.
Yeah.
You'll see some interesting things. You watch enough streams.
See, I just wherever I'm at, I just use my name. If I give it my first name, I use just my first name. If I do first and last name, then I do that, and that might. I'm sure there's a way to turn Amabel Holland into something. I don't know what, but
you are not a child of the true era of the internet.
Bitch, I was on Usenet in 1997.
They can't see me. I want you to communicate to them how much head shaking I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't know why you're shaking your head, but you are.
Because judgment. I'm judgmentally shaking my head at you.
You're judging me for being on Usenet.
Well, mostly I'm judging you for arguing with me, which I maintain is never a good idea.
I was on like the kindest part of the internet. I was not raised in the trouble that you have been raised in on the internet.
Yeah, I was raised in the tricked you into looking at ogrish part of the internet.
What's an ogrish?
I shouldn't even have said the name. Ogrish was like a place where it was just a website where they stored pictures that were like very viscerally unpleasant to look at for almost the sole purpose of tricking people into clicking on a link and then seeing a thing they didn't want to see. Please don't check and see if it still exists.
Yeah, no, that
viewers.
That sounds like something awful to me.
No, Something Awful was actually great. Something Awful has a weird reputation on the internet among people who didn't actually use Something Awful. And I guess like
Right.
it's gone through periods certainly where it was more or less the thing, but for a pretty large portion of its existence, Something Awful has been like a real
Yeah, I feel like
valuable source of internet culture, and mostly pretty left leaning.
yeah, I feel like his reputation was somewhat deserved and somewhat undeserved. Certainly, everyone I know who was on Something Awful, has been really like some of my best friends, and almost everyone I've dated in the last few years has been a goon.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know, it's a weird thing. And like part of it is too that like for a lot of people, the only association they know, the only association that Something Awful really has for them, the thing that internet people know best, non-goon internet people know best about Something Awful, is that somehow 4chan is from there, and so they, you know,
yeah.
they over relate the two things. But it's important to note, I think, that Something Awful, 4chan is from Something Awful because Something Awful banned all the channers. those people had to form 4chan because they were not allowed on Something Awful anymore. And you'll never guess what the disturbance was over.
The 8chan is was kind of like a 4chan thing that spun off as well, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. So yeah, 8chan broke off of 4chan when we don't have to talk about this.
All right. Sorry, I don't.
No, you're right,
Again.
and we can verify these facts and have a conversation about this later. But I'm just
Okay.
Today is supposed to be about our stream.
That's right. You turned out pretty good, sweetie, for someone who had to deal with the internet the way you had to deal with it. You know, again.
Yeah, so I often say my parents were not around to raise me, basically. They had no idea what I was doing or what I was up to. Same with my brother. And you know, sometimes we make jokes about me turning out okay in spite of, but to be perfectly honest, I actually kind of think it was good for me. Like it was to a certain extent a stroke of luck that I did not end up in a situation where I needed an adult, but having a long leash in the weird times of the internet shaped a lot of things about me, and in a what I think is mostly a very positive way.
I mean, I love the way that you are, and I can certainly identify how you are a child of the internet in a way. And like, I'm pretty online in some ways and pretty not online in other ways. Like, certainly having access to the internet helped me learn to socialize.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, there's a lot of, I think being someone who was on the internet but was not a computer person explains a lot about me. Because there's a lot of things that I think if I had been more computer oriented, you know, understood there are things you have to explain to me about computers that you don't seem to understand why you have to explain them to me. And
yeah, that's a fair way to put that, I think.
And you know, it's just that I don't know, never got. This is such a pretty game. I'm sorry, my brain just short circuits whenever I.
It's okay. I hope it's having that effect on some percentage of the audience. I have no idea what's going on in
Oh,
chat.
I'm sure. Everyone's just saying hey. Cornflake says the goon swarm is strong.
So I hear. No personal experience.
Yeah, I feel really...
The only like video gaming stuff I ever got into on something awful was friending all of the pinball people so that we could share Pinball FX high scores.
That's fun.
Fucking Irend is a menace.
Yeah, so like I never, was a goon. The board gaming goons seem to like my work okay, and that's nice. And again, like my friends are mostly goons, people I date. Like I feel like I'm like a chaser for goons, like a gooner, if you will.
Yeah. All right, reward.
Oh, Jane is here. Jaina has arrived.
Did Jaina get to hear your good joke?
I'm not sure.
I feel like it would enjoy that more than most people.
Yeah. Jaina says, what the heck? How do we not connect in Pinball Land? SB, Pinball FX owns. And Tiro says, mentioned at the tail end of the last stream, but not sure if you were aware that the red pulse can be disabled in the Hades 2, should be under accessibility settings.
Yeah, here's the thing. The episodes of Hades 2 that are coming out right now were recorded months ago.
Yeah.
I appreciate what you're saying, but I think there's still some Hades to record, but the temporal shift on that series in particular is such that feedback is less helpful than one might hope. Sorry about that. I got real fixated on it. I played it a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
So I remember being present when you recorded you going through the revised ending. Did that go up yet?
Yeah, that
Or is
part's
still
up.
in the future.
No,
Okay.
The Hades the motion picture is up. But I know there's at least a couple. I think there's like I don't want to say anything. There are several episodes left in the queue. I know.
Yeah.
I don't usually do that, and generally I don't think it's great practice because I want to be able to be responsive to feedback and stuff. But But Hades.
But you also don't read the comments.
But people get in touch with me if things are important. I heard about the Possessors thing.
Okay.
Which was super weird. And I see why that filter would do that, but it wasn't showing up like that in the preview monitor.
Okay.
It's not a big. It wasn't a big deal or anything, but it was still weird.
Andra says hello all. We have someone asking how you enjoyed the story of Hades 2. You probably talk about that in the episode.
I talk about it in the episodes for sure. I do like it. It's a heavier story than Hades 1, right? And I do think that some of the storytelling mechanisms that they built up for Hades 1, which they have then reused more or less in their entirety, don't quite fit the heaviness of the story in some ways, but I think I don't know. I think it's pretty good overall. I apologize if this feels like a real brain dead answer. I am still playing Mixolumia, and trying to keep my head straight about the rest of the stream and everything, because I have some thoughts about So I think it's pretty good. I apologize that this is only kind of a half answer, and it is something I would like to talk about more at some point. Maybe write something down.
Yeah. I mean, if Hades 2 ends up on your Game of the Year list for this year, then when that video comes out, early next year, I'm sure, you can talk about it then too. Like write it down. And you can.
At some point, should we ever discuss video games of the year ever again? We were talking the other day about how it would be a good idea to do our game of the year list for 2024 at some point. In case anybody's wondering where this energy is coming from. Oops, that was exactly backwards. What am I doing?
Yeah, and to be clear, like I think we have our list. It's just what form will that list take?
Yeah, I have mostly I have a list. I have a list that still has like 13 things on it. You know.
I mean, I have most of my list for next year, for this year already. You know.
Yeah, but you.
But I what?
You are comfortable playing a very small number of video games, and then making a list. And I like to have a little bit more of a sort of like a. I like to know what the streets are saying. You know.
See, here's my thing.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, you're the professional.
Okay.
You're the one that has.
Sure, that's a word
list.
that we can apply to me.
And then I am, you know, my goal is not to make like a top 10 list or these are the games of the year list. My goal is to add some games that aren't on your list that I think are noteworthy.
Okay.
So I'm absolved of the need to like make a list.
Okay.
And even so, there are games like last year UFO 50 came out, and that's not something you're particularly interested in. So that's not going to be on your list, or even on your list to check out.
Yeah, I'm not looking at that at all.
Yeah, so like you're not required to play everything, neither am I. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's definitely a way in which a game of the year list is like necessarily going to be a highly idiosyncratic product. No matter what you want to do with it, because you're just like not gonna play everything, even everything that you know is good in a year, right? Because of the way that linear time functions, you just can't. And I don't want to sound like I'm doing it as a statement, although I am.
Okay.
But there definitely are like games that I just don't play because I don't want to have to talk about them. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to like. Please don't anybody feel personally. That's a 7.8. That's going to be the end of phase 1 there. I think that's okay. I don't.
Sweetie, if I got 7.8, I'd be celebrating. The stream's over if I ever get a 7.8 in the pre-stream.
Welcome to phase 2. I'm not playing Clair Obscur because I don't want to talk about Clair Obscur. And I don't want anybody who does think Clair Obscur is rad to feel like I'm impugning their taste or anything. It's just like, holy shit, I don't want to get into JRPG discourse.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll like the game that much. I think I'll probably find the story really interesting and the combat really not interesting after the first, 5 hours or whatever. And then people will be like asking me questions about it and I'll have to answer them. And I don't want to do that. So
have you seen the Jacob Geller video?
It has been preemptively removed from the running because I'm not going to take the time to play it. And I don't I'm not trying to be an iconoclast here, but I definitely people have to know at this point that I do that, right? I don't play most of the AAA games because I'm not interested in talking about them. And so they don't ever find a way onto the list. It's not that I think Horizon Zero Dawn is going to be bad or whatever, that I'm going to play it and think, oh, that was a stupid waste of my time. It's just like, I'm just not going to play it.
Yeah.
I looked over at chat for the first time. I see People talking about Odysseus, which I think is interesting. Odysseus's role in Hades 2, where he is Achilles, but as Kafir notes, but you don't need an Achilles. He fills the same role as Achilles does in Hades 1, but to no end, and nobody needs him, and he's not useful. And so mostly he just wanders around your base, gasping at plants. Just be like, wow, that's really growing there.
That feels like a waste of an Odysseus.
That's a good observation.
You know.
So, hey, Amabel, what's today?
Today is the 10th anniversary of you uploading your first Let's Play video?
Wow, really?
Am I right on that?
Snatching the thunder right out of my hands there, huh?
You asked me what did you
You were supposed to say why it's December 7th, 2025. I threw open the window like Scrooge waking up on Christmas Day, and you're the rabbit in the street. And I say,
wait, there's a rabbit?
You there. What day is it? And you go, why, it's December 7th, 2025. And then I go, oh, good, I haven't missed it yet. Whoa. Sorry about that. That's a little bit of audio for y'all. Enjoy that, everybody.
What audio? What happened?
Feed this to you. Don't have it because you're not here. But
okay,
here you go. It's this. They got this, but at 12 times the volume.
Okay.
You know how video games are. But yeah, it is. Today is the 10th anniversary of me uploading the first Let's Play videos to the stream, and I tell the story, right? I've told the story more than once about how me starting to do Let's Plays was mostly motivated by spite. Have we all heard the story? I'll tell the story real quick, just in case.
Yeah.
I actually started uploading Let's Plays because I was tired of fighting with people on the Darkest Dungeon forums about how the Corpse and Hound update was actually a very good thing. People were mad. Not everybody, obviously, but there was a subset of people in the forums being really shitty about the fact that the Corpse and Hound update, as you might imagine, introduced the corpse mechanic to Darkest Dungeon 1, and all of a sudden, the game had some strategic depth, I guess I'm going to say. Like, prior to that point, the best thing to do, always, was just do as much damage to the first row as possible. And even though, they tried to balance the game by making frontline enemies tankier and whatever, it was easy enough to balance the damage buffs and stuff with the people like the leper and whatnot, that you would just bomb attack the front row, the guys in the front row would die, the other enemies would slide forward, and you just keep doing that. You just mash the front row until nothing was left but paste. So they added this system where when the enemies die, they leave behind corpses with HP, and now, effectively a high health enemy is 2 enemies worth of HP for just blocking the front row, and that was enough to accomplish the goal that they were trying to accomplish. That actually did slow down that pound the front line strategy enough that it was not the best in all situations. And the people who only played the game by doing that and then just mashing one button like it's a Final Fantasy VII lost their fucking minds in the forums and were howling about getting their money back and how Red Hook had destroyed the game, and it was a personal slap in the face. It was during that era where everybody was always like I'm being slapped in the face by the developers' game decisions. And I kept getting into fights and having to make the same arguments with people, and I was like, this sucks, and I hate typing it, but all these motherfuckers are wrong on the internet. And for one thing, they got to stop doing that. I hate that. But number 2, I don't want them to change the game back. I like it now. It's better now. So I started my Let's Plays as a way of being able to just link me making the arguments with evidence on screen, so that it would shorten the amount of typing I was having to do. these arguments on the Steam forums. 100% spite motivated Let's Playing. And I think I tell that story a lot. Because it's a funny story that makes me look bad. But
Yeah.
if you go back and look at the history of Let's Plays on the channel, the first game to go up, the very first Let's Play episode, was in fact Dungeon of the Endless. Why is the game capture working like that? Hold on a second. I'm going to fix that. I don't know what's going on with this. It was the same day. I clearly had prepped an episode of the one and an episode of the other. But the Darkest Dungeon, for whatever reason, I put the Darkest Dungeon up second. So, in honor of 10 years since I started Let's Playing, I'm just going to show y'all the very first game I ever Let's Played, Reppin' the Endless Universe, from minute 1, I will have it noted. Dungeon of the Endless. What a fucking weird little game this is.
Okay, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I have a question then. So if the purpose was to spite, and you're like, well, I'm also gonna do this video as well, and presumably other series that started within the days that followed. You've been prolific from the start. Like, why?
I'll tell you what, my model was.
It's not all spite.
No, it was spite that drove me to do it. But then once I decided I was going to do it, I was like, well, who are the people who do it that I like? Who is doing it the way I think I should do it? And the answer to that question is Northern Lion, who has been doing it longer than I have.
Yeah.
And this was a period where this was Northern Lion's style, is basically the style that I am still aping to this day, where it's like, an upload of 3 or 4 different series. I don't know if he was ever doing 4, but it was kind of a similar vibe where it was like a couple different series, 1 episode per day. And I was like, I could do it that way, and that would be, I think, interesting. So yeah, it's Dungeon of the Endless, Darkest Dungeon, and Invisible Ink at the beginning.
Okay.
And Renowned Explorers very shortly afterward. All long time stream classics. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna get into this. This game is hard, and I don't remember how to be good at it. So enjoy the death. So the story of this game here is there's a spaceship, a penal transport. It is flying from place to place when it is attacked. Oh no! Spaceship
penal.
Oop, and then my hand twitched and I clicked, so I think I broke the animation. But basically, the ship gets shot down over a planet. An escape pods are fired out of the ship, and you play as an escape pod and the people who manage to make it into the pod as the ship is crashing to the ground. Unfortunately, the escape pods all fire really late, and they don't really make it very far away from the ship. When the ship crashes into the planet's surface, instead of smashing hard onto, many packed tons of rock, like you might expect, it punches right through because it crashes into the surface above a multi-leveled research facility. And like a bunker buster bomb, basically just punches a hole all the way down into the heart of the facility. And then the escape pods sort of limply fall out to the sides after that has happened. So the difficulties here are easy and too easy, which is funny because too easy, as I remember it, is pretty hard, and easy is goddamn impossible. It seems like I have all the characters unlocked. I think that took a while. I don't know. We're just gonna go random here. So you see, there's a lot of characters who are kind of endless type folks. I think Scroig here is a mutant musketeer. He's got a look that's kind of Lost Lordy. There's some humans. There's some Hikensha. There's a Hikensha. Docbot, or Opbot rather. Opbot is here. Those of you who are still playing the more modern Endless games might recognize our friend Opbot. But this game predates Endless Legend because this, if I remember correctly, the spaceship crash here is forms the vault. The vault of the Vaulter's theme is the lab and crashed spaceship remnants sort of sealed up beneath the earth. And this is what allowed a lot of these sort of like endless lab experiments to escape onto the surface, was the breach of this laboratory in this way. So yeah, we're going to put it on random. So there's a bunch of Endless Legends stuff here. There's also, as you can see, some TF2 characters. Because, remember when we used to do that kind of stuff all the time?
I don't.
Crossovers and whatnot. Indie games. They loved crossovers. They still kind of do, but not anywhere near like we used to.
So Stephanie mentions that despite the menu options meaning hard and harder, she's seen many people argue that Endless Dungeon was a grim and Dungeon Endless was a grim and serious game, and also notes that predates is a strong word because they came out within a month or so.
When I say predates, I mean diegetically.
Okay.
But yeah, the Dungeon of the Endless and Endless Legend were released very close together. I don't know which one I played first. This might be the one that I played first. I think I had already played both of them by the time I was uploading stuff onto the channel, but I don't know which one I played first. So, great news. We survived the crash. The only system in working condition in the pod is the crystal, the source of energy. We must defend this at all costs. This is the only source of power that we have. We rolled, what's her name? But also the pug, which I believe is a character you can only get by randoming. So that's some fantastic luck on our part. How do I? Nope, that's the turrets. There we go. Okay, Mizi Curtis and Ayari. Yeah. So Cat of Nine Tails in the chat is going to be a great source of information about the game, having worked at the company and everything for quite some time. I'm not 100% sure I've ever played with the dog before. Born the seventh pup of a seventh pup of a seventh pup, yet unable to count higher than 1, 2, and lots. Ayari's glorious future was unlocked when prions from the labs of Auriga slightly altered her brain structure. Now, by far the smartest being on the planet, she hangs out with the dungeon's merchant and ex-investment banker, discussing stochastic differential equations and the Black Skull's model for option pricing. Whoever, by the way, I see Cat of Nine Tails saying, I've seen many people argue Dungeon is a grim and serious game. I think this game is very, very funny. The writing in like the item descriptions and stuff is much funnier than it has any right to be. But anyway, so we got this crystal. We got to get out of here, right? Staying put's not going to help. We'll just slowly starve to death in here. So I'm going to kick this door open. The dog kicked this door open. So this is sort of a tower defense game, and it's sort of a turn-based strategy game. And here's the deal: time for the most part is metered by the opening of doors. You can see when we walked into this room, it had no power, right? I can send power from the crystal to the room, and the crystal has enough power in it, enough capacity to power a certain number of rooms. We can improve the power capacity by massaging the crystal with the mysterious dust that we discover on the planet. Ooh, what an incredible substance it seems to be. We also have industry, science, and food, each of which we will gain every time we open a door. So it's useful to some degree to think of like opening a door as a turn, hitting the end turn button, but the game is also a real-time game. So yeah, opening a door is like a new turn. You get resources depending on your production. You need 10 dust to power a room. You can see here 28 means we're very close to having the dust to power in another room. We can build modules on these little module slots here. There's a big module slot in some rooms, which will allow us to build like a resource producer. I'm gonna build us an industry generator first, I think. Okay, so you can see that's improved our income. And then these little modules can hold turrets. Why would you need to build a lot of turrets, you might ask? Well, I've got some terrible news for you. We can also open up our panels here and see our heroes. Our heroes have a variety of stats, some of which are about fighting. And then also you have wit down here, which allows your hero to manipulate or repair, it allows your hero to manipulate a module to improve its effectiveness, which is kind of a cool thing. And heroes have a level, and if you spend food on the heroes, you can level them up. You can spend food to immediately heal them as well. And they have, in addition to all those stats, some number of passive and active skills that they will gain as they level. You can see here the pug has the ability to not be slowed down by monsters in the same room, while Mizi Curtis gets minus 10% defense if there are other heroes in the room with her, and plus 15 attack power if she is alone in the room. And when her base attack power is 60, that's like a pretty significant chunk, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We'll also find items, of course, to equip our heroes with, and you can see she has a slot for a shirt and a gear item. Pug don't have slots, apparently. Okay, we can pause. It has the classic amplitude dual level map system where you can zoom out to get a different view. And our goal is to reach the surface. Unfortunately, the facility is old and decrepit and none of the systems work, but if we can connect our crystal to the elevator, we can jerry-rig enough power to get the elevator moving. And then we just have to keep doing that throughout the entire facility. Find the elevator, drag the crystal to the elevator, plug it in, use it to go up the next floor until we get to the surface. And then we're just on a hostile alien planet that nobody's ever heard of before. So, problem solved. You said like you were going to ask a question.
Well, I was going to comment on there's something in the chat, but I guess for posterity's sake, because people watching this as a VOD are going to see the chat. So Kiefer asked if there was an Endless Dungeon 2, and that came out, and Cat Nine Tails said no, there was one. It's a very different game though. This is Dungeon of the Endless. This and there's one called Endless Dungeon.
Yeah, this is Dungeon of the Endless. They released a game that is a spiritual sequel called Endless Dungeon that has a lot of the same mechanical concepts. I would argue the feel is pretty different, although I don't know how much. There's something about this presentation that really resonates with me. There's like a scrappiness to it.
Okay.
Endless Dungeon, I did not dislike Endless Dungeon. I think it's a good game. But it's so... I hate to put it this way, but this is what I mean. It's so slick that it feels like it doesn't need my help. And so I was kind of less excited to show it off. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that
makes
sense.
It's just like these guys are going to be okay. Anyway, so we have two characters here. One of them prefers to be alone, so we're going to try to honor that.
Yes,
our pug has 6 wit, which is pretty good if I remember correctly. So leaving the pug behind to manage modules seems like a reasonable strategy for the moment. Mizi Curtis, while rumor says that Mizi is possessed by a demon, the truth is different. In fact, the same physical space is occupied by different entities from 2 distinct planes of reality. So that's what's going on with like the flickering and stuff. As the planes move closer together or farther apart, one or the other personality becomes dominant. This has made it difficult for her to develop serious long-term relationships. On the plus side, the other entity is an ancient demonic war hero, which has helped her keep insults to a minimum. I'm just going to level her up right away. She's going to be doing some fighting. So you can see here, when we mouse over level up, it indicates that we will gain an active skill on our next level up. All right, let's kick open a door. Okay, this room had a bunch of dust in it. So, monsters. Some of the rooms in the dungeon are going to contain monsters. The monsters have differing behaviors based on what type of creature they are. Some of them will try to fight modules in the room they're in. Some of them will try to fight heroes in the room they're in. Some of them, as you saw with those little flying crystal guys, will try to leave the room because some of them are obsessed with the crystal. They want nothing more than to find and destroy your crystal. Obviously, it behooves us to stop them from doing that. We found another generator room here, another room with a slot for a generator. I'm going to put down a food generator. And you can see I've now spent my entire supply of industry. Like, things cost a lot relative to the output of your generators, especially in the early game.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a limited number of times you can open a door on any given floor, right? So the amount of resources you have available is pretty small. All right, these monsters are also dropping dust as we kill them, so we've got enough power for this room. We are now fully powered, even with that big cache of dust we found, so we can't guarantee we'll be able to power the next room. I'm not going to build any turrets or anything yet because so far the enemies have been pretty light, and I think we can kill them with the power of individual violence. And also we're getting decent dust off of killing them. But it's dangerous to leave rooms dark. I don't know exactly how it works. I'm sure I did at some point. I don't remember exactly how it works now. But every time you open a door, rooms that are dark and unobserved, I think have a chance to spawn enemies or something like that. You know, listen, it's bad to have holes in the power network for a variety of reasons. Okay, we're not going to be able to build another creator until we open one more door. It sucks to have a slot open while you're opening doors. It feels like wasted resources. But that's only because it totally is. Okay, we discovered a thing. This is a science machine. Plug science into the machine to learn new types of modules or perhaps upgrades to previous modules. So you can see here, on the left we have the slot for the big module slots in the room. This thing would, if built in a room, would add 120% defense to all major modules, major and minor modules in this room. So that's fine, I guess. And then different things that can be plugged into the little slots. Pepper spray. This riot control flavoring drives monsters to attack each other and makes them taste good. The idea of pepper spray being a thing that you shoot at a monster and it makes the other monsters attack it rather than some disabling thing because it's delicious. It's pepper spray, right? Is very much the sense of humor of the entire game. You're going to see a lot of stuff like that. The T-shirt being a strong piece of early armor because the T stands for titanium. Things like that.
Yeah, one of the things I enjoyed most about Humankind, which we played it during Fork School, was the sense of humor, and it's nice to see that.
Oh, what am I doing? I'm supposed to build before I open that door.
People in chat are talking about dogs having their eyes pop out, and I'm going to ask that they don't talk about that. Thank you. That's my.
Amabel, what are you allowing to occur here? All right, so I'm gonna build
a stop to it. I'll ban people. I'll do it.
I'm gonna build another industry module here because I want to bank industry for the next floor. We have found the elevator. However, if we leave this floor with doors unopened, obviously we're just leaving resources on the table, right?
Yeah.
Could you live with yourself?
Yes.
Okay, well I can't. So we're gonna not do that. We can pay some science to re-roll the researches. I kind of don't love these, and I'm debating. And the pepper spray is not terrible, and it tends to shoot at the most powerful monster. So you can build one of these and have it, but like it will never stop an individual monster from passing through the room, right? At some point, there's only one monster left, and I prefer weapons that just do damage. So I think I am going to re-roll the research module here, looking for something a little bit more. Ooh, Neurostun. Minus 30% speed to all the monsters in the room. Just slow everybody down to give them more room for your stuff to work. The emergency generator powers the room without using any dust, and having one of these operated by a hero increases monster dust loot probability on the floor. It's called an emergency generator because if you're building these, you are probably in an emergency. These are the bad news.
Okay.
It's good to have. It's very powerful, but they're right. It's a real like things are going terribly kind of thing because it eats up your main slot in the room for no resource gain really. I am going to start researching the neurostun module. So research takes time. 3 doors until we actually have access to that. And it will, if you have a research running, it will automatically finish when you open the last door on a floor. But we're gonna push onward here because I want more resources. I'm greedy, and this is how every one of my games ends. This room is self-powered. We have a little log down here. That's nice. Now there is a door on the other side of the elevator, and I'm a little leery about opening it. We'll decide about that later. I'm gonna just keep moving for the moment. So one thing I really love about the game is the art style. Yep, see, we're getting spawns. We're getting spawns from rooms that were left in the dark. We have enough energy now to power that, and so you can see we have a set of rooms powered all the way up here, but we still don't have enough to power the elevator. I believe if you have a hero in a room, oh, adorable. I believe if you have a hero in a room, that room can't spawn stuff. We don't have any uncovered major module slots. We do have a ton of food. I'm just not spending my food. So we'll level up Mizi here. Mizi has gained the Battle Madness skill. Attack power massively up. Attack range is increased. Attack cooldown is decreased, but I don't get to give her orders anymore. She's going to stay in that room. She's going to fight shit for the duration of the thing. So that's a shame. But, you know, you use it obviously when you're in a situation where there's lots of enemies. We're going to level up our friend here. Our new pug. Pilfer. Okay, digging in corners, you pick the room clean. Plus one dust per room with dust. So does this only apply if the dog is the one who opens the door to the dust room? That's a little awkward. I guess I could be doing this the other way. Mizi could be staying behind, but she doesn't have the wit to get the good juice out of the generators. Like, if I move the dog off of the generator... Well, okay, we don't see any immediate disruption. Let me... Okay, we got an extra dust out of that. Our neurostun module finished. Found ourselves a powered room. I don't know how clear the dog's attack animation was to everyone there because it was kind of covered by the wall. Let's see if we can...
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah, we're continuing to find dust and stuff. I'm gonna build us a science crater here. I think we can bear the industry loss. Some bank and resources for the next floor. We'll check the science thing here, but I don't know. We're not gonna be able to afford a research right now. So you can build a shop. There's a merchant who can be discovered on the floors, and you can trade stuff to them. They different merchants operate with different resources. What's up? You are laughing a lot, but silently, so I sound like a crazy person.
I'm sorry. I just saw one of the most recent comment. I just
Yeah.
I'm not going to read it out loud. That's not.
I see. Hi, Robin. Welcome to the stream.
Robin.
We have here a biomass cannery, which gives 1 food for every 6 monsters killed in the room. Anything goes in and food comes out. We just don't ask any questions beyond that. Here, the KIP cannon, that is knowledge is power, has damage bonus based on your stocked up science. And the viral injector does damage over time to monsters, as you might imagine from its name. But we don't have enough science to get anything good going. Let's just keep exploring. Yeah, show that door who's boss. All right, we're finding a lot of loot here, and you'll notice the monsters on this level are not posing much of a threat to us.
Yeah.
Don't get too comfortable with that. That's not going to continue to be the case. So it'd be 40. As you can see, as we build modules, they get more expensive. It gets more expensive to have more of the same thing on the floor. All right, so we grabbed some more dust there. I threw it on the. I threw it into this room, and that way we are maintaining a pretty good overall brightness level. There's still a chance of monsters spawning in this room every time we open a door, but we've got Mizi between them and anything that they could really damage. So my plan is just to use her to control the flow. We're probably getting pretty low on remaining rooms, is just my vibe. I don't exactly know how many rooms there are per floor. This number is counting the number of turns we've been on the floor, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay. So I think I'm not going to spend any more big chunks of industry. We're just going to run the rest of the doors here to get whatever else we can get. Oh, hey, it's the shopkeeper. So this particular shopkeeper is a science shopkeeper. Different ones operate in different resources. We could buy here some guns. He's got some guns for sale. Neither of our characters know how to use a gun, so we will not be buying any of this stuff. But we could sell things that we have to him in exchange for some science if we had any things. So here you have the nail gun, great for home improvement and destruction, and of course the rice wind, stolen from the ship's kitchens. This high-pressure dried rice dispenser puts out a hail of grains that removes flesh from bones. You know, if your rice, if the grain of your rice is stiff enough. So I think I'm gonna depower this room and power this room so that we only have enemies coming from one direction potentially. You know, this is a constant concern as you expand out beyond your dust capacity for the floor. And I do want to open all the doors. Opening up doors beyond the elevator can sometimes be a little bit of a tricky proposition. So as we continue to do this, you may notice adorable pixel versions of creatures that you are familiar with from Endless Legend. There are some real familiar monsters, I believe. Got enough to light up another room, so I guess we shall. And then we'll probably redistribute the power before we leave. I'm surprised there are this many doors even. I may have just not really been remembering correctly approximately how many doors there are per floor. Okay, found the last room. And in it we discovered a machine that we can break down for 6 industry. Okay, so we're carrying a fair amount of industry down onto the next floor. All right, it's time to move the crystal. When we grab the crystal, it's going to lock the power setup for the floor, and then the dark areas of the floor are going to start pouring monsters out, constantly trying to devour the crystal now that its energies are more obvious or whatever. And we will have to defend it while one of us carries it to the thing, and that person's not really able to do anything. All they can do is carry the crystal. So movement speed matters. Okay. I believe they'll be slowed. The dog is slightly faster. I mean, that's fine. Mizi's a good fighter. So I'm going to depower some of these outer rooms to power this way entirely so that we don't have monsters coming at us from the elevator direction.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna leave Mizi right here, and let's have Irie get the crystal. Woof woof indeed.
Woof woof.
All right, movement order issued. It's possible that I should have built some turrets or something, but I really wanted to carry this huge supply of industry over to the next floor. And you can see the crystal's making it past the bottleneck pretty quick here. Every time your crystal gets attacked, its power capacity is damaged. All right, we're going to go with them. Because we all need to be on the elevator to use the elevator. At least if we want to take everybody with us, we all got to be on the elevator, you know. All right, easy. Floor 1. Think nothing of the length of this vertical line. Things to be thankful for. Well, how about no flying killer robots? And the dog barks. Well, I mean, what could you expect? So we carry over our resources, except for our dust. Every floor we're starting with a new stash of dust. But we got some resources to get some stuff started here. I kind of want to level up the dog again. The dog has gained an active skill. Okay. A big buff to damage for the minor modules in the room. And it looks like a new passive on next level up, in addition to showing you. I appreciate that it shows you the stats. I guess let's just pick a direction and go, huh? And we have enough industry that we probably don't need to build an industry generator first. But I always get nervous if I don't build an industry generator first, that I'm going to run out of ability to build. I'm going to run out of ability to build things. Things in general. That's a corpse. That's fun. And you know, the biomass cannery is kind of an interesting one. The ability to convert murder into food. Yeah, research me a biomass cannery. So one of the things I really love about this game is the sense of humor and the kind of like the silly writing and the item descriptions and stuff. Another thing is it's just kind of like a weird game.
Yeah.
Weird is worth a lot of points with me. But another thing that really like reaches out and grabs you immediately, I think, is like the vibe. First of all, endless music, right? The music in all of the endless games is so fucking good. It's crazy. But this 2D, 3D thing they've got going on where like the characters are all sprites and the stuff in the environment is all sprites. But the game has a 3D lighting model. Like watch it when the characters actually move around, the way the shadows are cast and stuff. Like they're they're flat pixel sprite characters in a 3-dimensional environment with 3-dimensional shadows, and it's very I don't know, it's just cool. Okay, so we can keep this branch powered forever. This is where all the fighting is going to be, if there is indeed going to be fighting. Great news for us. Let's get a science creator up, because we have a research lab. And let me hold off on building any miners. Okay, got another research module immediately. As you can see, you can get higher level versions. You can get research upgrades to your existing modules. We started with the basic resource creators and then gun, right? The simplest turret. So we have access to a simple turret upgrade here. Attack power 12 on the same attack cooldown. So it's not like a huge, massive increase in effectiveness, but it might not be a bad idea considering we don't really have a lot of other offense. I'm gonna obviously wait until we have resources here, but dog, go forth. Okay, dog has discovered dead end. Love a dead end. So once again, we can power all of this stuff, so we know any enemies that spawn are spawning beyond this door, right? And that gives us a good bottleneck. Like, as the game gets harder, and it's going to start getting harder pretty fast here, it's going to become really difficult to control the flow of superior monsters. We're going to be reliant on towers and automated defenses. Okay, a room that is itself powered. That's just fine. And you start having to apply a lot of tower defense game logic to it. Jaleri, hey, we discovered a person. Do you smell this place? Rich in history, in dust, in death. Yeah, welcome aboard, Jaleri. So, great news about Jaleri. A rogue and adventurer, Jaleri was generally found mounted and with a weapon in her hand. She has traveled far and wide on the continent, enriching herself by finding and selling endless artifacts. However, she was trapped in the dungeon when running from beasts that ate her steed. Now all she can think of is getting back up to the light and avenging her lost companion. So, she has the dust thirst, because she is dust powered, because, you know, she's an endless lord.
Okay.
Attack power +8 per killed monsters temporarily. I think that's just during each wave. Each thing she kills buffs her for the rest of the wave. But the loot probability from monsters that she kills is lowered because she steals the dust. And she has Scamper. She's a good fighter, though. I'm gonna wait to level up. I'm not gonna spend anything.
The dog is so cute.
The dog is very cute. I might actually have Jaleri fall back to here. You stand in this room so we don't get monster spawns in this room, and then things that come in here will have to fight her in her alone state. Okay, we can light one more then. And you can see our heroes snap back to full HP when the wave ends. I believe if a hero dies in combat, though, it's like a permanent death. It's been a while since I've lost anybody, obviously, on account of how incredibly good we all are at the game. I'm going to go ahead and buy the prisoner prod upgrade. I don't know for sure if we're going to be using the prods, but it seems likely. And we have the resources to put up another resource replicator. Let's get some resources. So this room, I think, is probably going to be... This room would be a good bottleneck if we can find some dust. All right, a merchant who deals in science again. Okay, here we go. We got a t-shirt. Titanium shirts are a fairly common high-quality personal defense item. Gives 9 defense and 60 max HP, but -2 speed. Here, a strange but very useful black box. No need to panic, Amabel. It's a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
As a, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Here, this is the J-Pad, one letter better than its famous predecessor. This handheld marvel contains optimized solutions for the materials, project plans, and techniques of module construction. It lowers your defense, but it gives you the gear check skill. Now, one unfortunate thing is these items that give you a skill, I don't think there's a way to see what the skill is without buying and equipping the item, which is kind of not ideal. But, you know. I'm going to not buy the t-shirt, I think, because I want to use our science for researching. And gosh, I would love to get just like a little bit more dust. Like I was saying, I would love for this to be our bottleneck room, because it's a large room the monsters have to travel a long way through, and it's got a lot of hard points in it. But we are just going to have to find 10 more dust to make that happen. So we can see things are spawning. The pug is actually starting to have a little bit of trouble. I want the pug killing the enemies for the moment. Things are under control, but yeah, I would really love to be able to power more of this dungeon level. Okay, so great news in a couple of different ways. We got this thing, we got the elevator. So we would need... We already have a reasonable path available with just the amount of power we have, right? We could easily depower both of these rooms and that room to light up the way home. And then the fact that these are unpowered won't matter too much, because at some point it just becomes, you know, all of the enemies are streaming in from the same direction as you drag the crystal forward. But obviously we want to explore the rest of the dungeon before we do that, because, you know, we're going to need those resources to live. All right, so let's set up a little bit in here. We're gonna set Mizi in here. We're gonna put you in the little room next to it to try to catch people as they come through, if they do in fact survive. But Mizi prefers to work alone. And let's maybe set up a biomass cannery. This room is big enough, and I think we'll be doing enough fighting in it that we might actually get some decent food out of this thing. Okay? Is that all right with you, Amabel?
Yeah.
How's chat doing?
Chat hasn't said a whole lot.
Is their mind blown
Lately.
by the beauty of the game? Okay, so we do have spawns. Run! Don't fight them here. Fight them near the cannery. Let the cannery turn them to goo. Larry, don't let that guy get away. So obviously, like, really narrow rooms like this are problematic because the enemies move through them very quickly. A room with the exact same dimensions, but with the doors on the long ends, is very helpful. So we discovered here a steel, which will provide a set of buffs or debuffs for a certain number of turns, and then when it is destroyed, its effect ends, and it opens up the main module slot in the room for us to build over. So heroes on the floor have 100 extra defense, but the crystal is only at 60%, so anything that got past us would do a number on the crystal really fast. Let's have Jalari run over and operate a science thing for us. We have built up quite a lot of science. Let's make sure we're doing research. Ooh. Upgrades to our basic resource production modules, I think, are generally a pretty high priority. They're a high priority for me.
Yeah, I noticed.
I know you don't care, Amabel.
Amabel does care? What is this hostility?
I don't know. I'm trying to engage you. But the only way I know to do it is to be horrible. My friends call me dude. It's an inside joke. This would appear to be the Grim Reaper. The Death Dealer. Huh. I don't remember this. So, this ancient artifact is filled with sand that flows upward. The note reads, in case of death, break glass and inhale. I think one can guess what the time of sands probably does. That's certainly interesting. I kind of want to... We have a bunch of food stored up. I'm going to buy some of these trick-or-treats. What's the worst that could happen? I got a pea shooter. None of us know how to use guns. That's not really that great. Okay, and a 6-gun. And Grim Fairy Tales. Okay, hold on. That might be interesting. So, pea shooter, has a barrel, things come out, tends to annoy rather than wound. The 6-gun, in fact, this pistol holds 8 bullets, but the prisoner who built it from cigar tubes and door handles could not count higher than 6. And then Grim Fairy Tales, a complete manual of hacking, DIY, and home chemistry. The cover is merely a disguise. Oh, wait a minute. Let me equip this on you. Okay, so plus 8 wit for repairing purposes. You know what? I'm remembering now. I was like, why? The dog doesn't seem to be operating the modules. But there's a skill. You have to have a skill. There's a skill that makes you able to operate the modules. So
I have a question.
That's why that wasn't happening. Yeah.
About the random ones that you bought.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I can't use guns, but they had a gun icon on them. like on the trick or treat thing. So
Oh, did
why
they?
did you click on it?
I thought they had. Well, I mean, like they're still useful in like this sense, right?
Okay.
At this point,
All right.
trading food for science is probably reasonable. But also,
Okay.
I didn't see the gun icon.
Okay. Sorry.
They're big. It had big question. It had big
I'm
question
sorry.
mark. I saw the question mark and I was like, well, that could be anything, even a gun.
Especially a gun.
Okay, we're still researching here.
No, I'm pretty sure it was a gun symbol. I saw the symbol. I'm pretty sure it was two gun symbols and a wrench.
I didn't see any gun symbols. If y'all want to take her to task over her imagined gun symbols, do so gently.
Yeah,
Everyone's having a tough go of things lately.
yeah. I'm sorry. I haven't been on the channel lately, and there's a reason for that. So
There's a lot of stuff going on. Nope, fight in here, fight in here. Okay, many enemies. You can see the pug's health is starting to get a little strained.
yeah,
I might
I
might build a gun or two.
I feel like you should probably build some towers in this tower defense game.
Well, you want to go as far as you can without having to, right? Because building the towers uses the same resources as everything else. But yeah, okay. So we're getting to the part where we have to build the towers. I might also a neurostun module is only 7. Yeah. Okay, so we're forming our bottleneck here. Prisoner prods are like cheap as free. What the hell? Let's build another one. Okay, we've got this room all fortified. There are a lot of unpowered rooms at this point, and that is going to make things more difficult. Let's try to keep the flow of monsters to one side as best we can. I think I'm going to play another replicator. Let's get more food. We also finished our research there, so let's see if another one would be worth doing. The Mechanical Pal operates and adds 1 wit on a major module. It cracks jokes, cooks meals, shines shoes, and operates your modules. That's an interesting use of a small module slot, especially since you usually don't want to be building towers everywhere. This guy can give you a little bit of extra payout on rooms. I honestly think that might be the way to do it. Yeah, I'm curious about the little pal. I don't think I've ever seen that one before. Or at least I don't remember it. And we've opened the last door of the current floor of the dungeon, which immediately completes the research that we were working on. You know what? Let's just get everybody... The fight's turning into a serious thing. Let's get everybody in here and take it seriously. Okay. What if we played tower defense, huh? What if? 1 food for every 6 monsters killed. So I don't know exactly how much food our biomass cannery gave us there, but it was not none. So we're getting ready for the run, right? It is time to run. I might want to buy that thing from the death dealer. Okay. So I want to depower rooms a little bit here such that we can power the route to the elevator. We want to minimize the amount of monsters that are going to be ahead of us on the running path, right?
Yeah.
You have a move speed of 34, making you now the fastest person in the party. So congratulations, Jolary. Alright, the plan is going to be... There's going to be monsters spawning up here. There's going to be monsters spawning behind Jolary. But I think Jolary is reasonably fast enough to get to the combat room before getting caught by anything. At least this is the hope. So we're going to grab the crystal and we're going to bolt. It is no greater weight than duty and honor. All right, man. It's getting a little close. And the monsters are coming down from the bottom. Okay, some monsters will stop to fight your modules. Some monsters prefer module combat. All right, everybody in the pool. So far, we've gotten lucky. It's not been terribly harrowing elevator runs.
Mm-hmm.
But they can be. They can be something. Oh man, I don't love this. There are 3 doors to this elevator. Okay. Let's just pick one. Okay, a lot of power at the very least. Okay, a lot of power into a dead end. I don't hate that. You can see the later upgrades, the more powerful upgrades for things get pretty expensive. But driving our resource engines up to level 3, I think, would be a good idea. Okay, so we can keep that wing totally powered. That's great news. Woof woof, by the way.
Indeed.
I'm not talking to you. That was for Jaina. Got her. Sweet, are you okay? I'm sorry, you look actually injured by that.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I'm gonna put down a science generator since we do have a research lab up already. We have lots of industry in the bank. I don't need to go industry first all the time. Okay, even more labs. Weird. 65.
I have a question for you that's more cogent to the occasion we're marking.
Okay.
So I noticed that right from the start, from the very first Let's Play, you started with hello viewers. Why?
Did I?
What made you think of... Yes.
That's crazy.
So I was gonna ask what made you think of hello viewers, but maybe you just were.
Well, it's like I wanted something that was gender inclusive. I did not know that I was trans when I started the channel. I was in that wow, I'm such a good ally phase.
Right.
Why is my social media feed made entirely of trans women? Asks man who is about to discover why. But I wanted something that was very gender inclusive, that was sort of short and to the point. And I specifically remember this. I specifically wanted to avoid trying to create like a fucking weird ego group.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have a pet name for my group of viewers, my fucking army or whatever. I remember
you don't
thinking
be like KSB Nation.
I remember thinking that stuff was really repulsive to me and a really good way to manipulate people, and I consciously did not want to do that. We found here a cheater's armband. Made to give an unfair advantage in prison brawls, it has a chance to poison the opponent, so it's an attack power booster, for one thing. You can use this. Also, 5% odds to poison the targeted monster. That's pretty cool. Should probably keep leveling people up. I'm curious. The pug gets a skill, a passive, at the next level up, and I'm kind of curious if it's going to be operator. So I sort of want to hold off and save for that. Okay, found the next elevator already. That's interesting. Nyctophilia. Speed up in unpowered rooms, desolate probability for monsters up in unpowered rooms. Or no, that's just monsters in the room with you no matter what. Nothing in the dark is scarier than this pug, whose name I think is maybe in Welsh. I'm just now realizing.
Oh, yeah, that might be. If we have any Welsh speakers in the chat, please let us know.
We met another person. I'm a nurse. I'm not obsessive compulsive. I just want everything clean. All right, I think a new character would be lovely to have. It's a shame I just spent all my food. Now we do have to be a little careful with her. We haven't recruited her because I didn't have the food to do so. We're gonna get it, but I think stuff can spawn in her room because it's a dark room that doesn't have one of our characters in it, and the monsters will fight her, and she can absolutely die. So we need to make sure that doesn't happen.
Okay.
Yeah, stuff is fighting her. I'm helping. Total sicko mode. Uh-oh. Stuff's getting through. Kill these fools. Okay, I think we made back the damage they did, but that's not great. So... I think what I'm gonna... Boy. I don't love this. We're two rooms short of powering the entire map as we see it now, and the only other door is on the other side of the elevator, directly adjacent to the crystal, which we can't move. So, what I'm gonna do for the moment is move our people who are not active, who are not the active explorer, to those rooms, because I'm pretty sure monsters can't spawn in a room your characters are in. This will mean the only monster spawns we're getting are up ahead of us, but obviously this could lead to some crystal damage. Okay, an already powered room with 8 dust in it is a fantastic find. This means we can pull you back up to some kind of defensive position. And I probably do want to get a food replicator going. We want to make sure that we have the resources to recruit the lady as soon as possible. We should also definitely be upgrading our stuff more. Probably just pushing the research creator, I think. I love main module upgrades. So what do you think of this game, Amabel? Apply your game designer brain. Your mighty game designing brain.
It's weird in ways that are appealing. You know, they're because I thought of this from what little I heard of it as like a tower defense game, and it sort of is, but the moving of the crystal, the kind of ways in which it is as much like a logistical puzzle of lighting the rooms and a strategy game with the upgrades is I don't know. It's a really interesting mix, and I think it's nice to see something so unusual. It's nice that you started with something so unusual. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is not to sound like I'm not to sound like I'm in the pocket of big amplitude or anything here, but like their games have always, I think, had this sort of like this like catch to them, right? This not catch is not the word I want. They're sort of like, they grab me, right? Like there's something special about them. They have this stickiness to them that is really rad. I'm going to ignore this guy. We have discovered a 5th guy, but I don't think we need any more. As I remember, Krang is another sort of like frontline fighter dude, and I would much rather have support staff at this point. I think we got enough people who are here for frontline fight. I think she was in the low 30s to hire. Let's go ahead and grab her. You can only have 4 people in your party at once.
The thing I think that separates you from some people in the Let's Play space is that it feels like you play games that you're like, the game is the focus. Your interest in the game, your interest in sharing the game is the focus. It's not about like having something for you to do while you shtick. And I really appreciate that about you and what you do.
Well, thank you. That's nice of you to say. Yeah, the game is definitely supposed to be the focus. So we got here Nurse Dina Ratchet. Real quick, let me introduce this character before I continue that thought. Ratchet is unable to do anything without screaming orders before, during, and after. An overbearing and annoying martinet, she does not consider a job well done until the entire galaxy has heard about it. Unafraid to yell when silence will do, her voice has been classed as a lethal weapon, and she has this paramedic skill that allows her to dramatically improve the health regen for all the heroes on the floor, but even more dramatically, the ones in the room. And she has Scamper and defense plus 10% when grouped with others they trust. So, as I remember it, the characters are basically broken down into like 3 groups. There's the staff of the prison ship, and the prisoners of the prison ship, and the others, like, the outsiders, sort of. And I think all the staff have this skill. And this, when it says grouped with others they trust, it refers to anyone else who has this skill, I think. Maybe? I'm not sure I was ever clear. Knowing stuff is for suckers. Sorry about that. So yeah, like I do think that there are certainly a lot of people who like play games on YouTube, but definitely more especially on Twitch, where the point of the thing is like it's the person show with with the game as like a backing track. And it is more about the person than it is about the game. And that has never been my style. I just don't feel... there's a sense in which I want people to always be paying attention to me, which I need infinite attention. But there's another very real sense
I know.
In which I want nobody to ever look at me ever.
Right.
It's a complicated thing to maneuver through.
There's a sound you make, which the viewers have never heard. A kind of adorable whine that you make when you're not getting attention, and then also when you are getting attention.
Yes, when I'm receiving...
And for those reasons.
When I'm receiving the wrong amount of attention in either direction. Or sometimes also the right amount of attention. It's... Listen, I'm not going to pretend that I'm not a nightmare to live with. I know.
You're not a nightmare. I love living with you.
Hey, look, it's the shopkeeper. Okay, well, this is going to be an easy one because we managed to light almost the entire floor.
Yeah.
Ooh,
honestly, my week's been bad because I haven't been around you as much. You are rejuvenating.
So unfortunately, still no melee weapons to be found. We got some self-help buds here. These improve self-confidence by recounting to the wearer all the clever things they did that day. The photon decelerator, which allows enemies to only see where you were, not where you are. That's a really clever idea for a science fiction device. It decelerates the photons bouncing off of you, so people observe you back in time. I mean, it would have to really decelerate them, but it's a fun idea. Frag grenade. Created as a counter weapon that frags incoming grenades, it can also counteract some projectiles. This orange jumpsuit, orange and spring-loaded, it jumps very far and fast. Look at all that speed bonus. Because it's a jumpsuit, Amabel.
Okay, got it.
These brainwave bracers give you a psionic strike. Transfers brainwave energy to the user. It's just a party trick until people started dying. The way that psionic strike is written there makes me want to mispronounce both of those words.
Oh yeah, no, that's good. You know, this reminds me of the X-Men, because Cable from the X-Men
literally
has
nothing that doesn't. Yeah, I know.
he has a scimitar, but it's spelled PSI. A scimitar. I'm not sure because it's psionic.
And then let me tell you about how this is like the Siege Perilous.
Kiefer says that Google says the pug's name is indeed Welsh, and the last part means the Guardian.
Okay.
This is a Guardian pug. Cat of Nine Tails says, whining when getting the wrong amount of attention. Are we sure SB isn't at least a little dog? No, she's not. She's not a dog. She's more dog-like than any puppy girl I've ever spent time with, but is not a dog.
There's some kind of critter in there, I'm sure. I don't know.
This game's pretty easy so far. You're doing real good.
One might say it's too easy. I'd like this elevator a lot more if it had some sort of epic view of wherever the heck I am. It's true, it does just sort of have a view of the wall. It's going to turn around on us real fast. We got lucky there. That was an easy floor because of the layout and the dust. And that is a thing that can happen with this game. It can be very swingy because of the randomized floor designs and the way the systems are shaped. But yeah, it's gonna. Don't worry, the ass kicking is coming. I'm gonna get what's coming to me. That's pause. As I remember, there's a select all button. There it is. Everybody get in here. Okay. And I like the graphics of the ruined facility around you. There's stuff in here that's like just weird enough that you're not sure was this here before? Is this what the facility is for? Like, what are they doing in here? And it gives a good sort of like incomprehensibility to the endless right away, which is neat. The imparsibility of the facility is an important part of the whole thing. I might just put down another food replicator. We're kind of generating other resources at a reasonable rate already. And we can definitely use levels. I am neglecting to level our people, in part because we had that food merchant. Ah, the Rosetta robot. The value of diplomacy led by an artificial intelligence is complete objectivity. We always know who the vile, hateful scum really are. Yeah, why don't you just stay right here? So, speaking of levels, definitely are getting some level ups on people. Okay, lots of weird little dead ends here. Ooh, for the next 3 turns. Bonus resource output. Gotta love that. And this is already a pretty friendly shape. Let's get another industry generator down. I don't know. Maybe I could have put this up on the next. I remember losing a lot playing this game, but maybe I should have put it on easy instead of too easy.
You did do a second series where you did it on easy.
Yeah.
Did you win?
I don't. How am I supposed to remember a thing like that?
I don't know. If I win the game, I remember.
Okay, there we go. So Nurse Ratchet now has gained the Operate skill. She can operate major modules to improve their yield, improve the module's effect. When you're talking about one of the basic ones, it is yield, obviously. But you can see she's got like the gear with the 3 dots over her head. She will begin operating the module when the door is opened in the room while she's standing in the room with the module. I'm gonna have her operate one of the food modules. And I mean, honestly, we could all come down here, I suppose. There's not really any reason to be anywhere else. Okay. Elevator. Now the question.
Mm-hmm.
We are out of dust for the moment. Does that make me want to go back here and like just leave all this stuff powered, pull everybody back to here, and explore into the facility this way? Or does it make me want to open up the doors beyond the elevator? My concern is that at some point we're going to run out of space beyond the elevator, right? We're going to have to go back to the route and start searching the other direction from there. And if this goes more than 1 or 2 doorways, we're probably not going to be able to light everything over here. And then we're going to end up with darkness on both sides of us, having to potentially fight 2 fronts every wave. I don't like it. I think that's bad. So we're going to pull back everybody except the nurse who is operating that module. And we're going to start looking this way for the moment.
All right.
Found a treasure chest. And in it, Fred's Fixer. The powerful magics held in this bracelet help to heal and invigorate the wearer. And it unlocks Rickopedia? Who has a gear slot? You have a gear slot. Okay, massive wit increase for repairing purposes. This feels like a reference I'm not getting. Oh, hey, look, somebody who can use a gun. It's a shame I traded all of my guns for knowledge.
That was fair, though. What is this? Gungeon of the Endless? No, it's a dungeon.
Some kind of gun dungeon?
Oh, no.
What?
I thought about the thing we were...
Talking about earlier? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, it turns out the elevator passage just loops around here. We got ourselves another food merchant who can give us some prison uniforms, slightly more protective than naked skin, in a color designed to trigger the gag reflex. We have a couple of people who have open armor slots, if I'm not mistaken. 3. Yeah, let's go ahead and buy these prison uniforms. Better than leaving the slots open. And then I have a lot of money that I should be spending. The merchant sprite includes the pug, in case you're wondering why there are 2 pugs. Because if you remember from the pug's thrilling backstory, does love to hang out with the merchant. Okay, can repair damaged modules. That's all well and good. Let's throw our prison uniforms on our main fighters. Still don't have any melee weapons for what's his name. But we'll find some. Alright, so they can stand here and play defense. We can even get a module up in this room, and I suppose... You know, honestly, there might not be enough doors left on this floor for that to have a positive payout. Okay, Rakia, I have fond memories of Rakia. Rakia is a good fighter character who, unfortunately, we will not be bringing with us. But I will light the room so that she doesn't die. There's some stuff going on in these tanks That's curious. We discovered some dehydrated water.
All right.
Wow, these guys are starting to hit pretty hard. I suppose, like, really, Jaleria could just use some level ups. Part of the problem here is that we have bad HP because I've been using the food for everything else. So this gives you 47 max HP, practical for those long dry spells. What is extenders? Okay, heal cost down for all the heroes on the floor. I think that's probably fine. Yeah, these are all fine. Okay. We'll try to keep one of the directions lit as much as possible, so we're just dealing with a few rooms full of spawns. Part of what really causes the difficulty scale up is having more rooms of spawns to deal with. And I don't want to like break my arm, pat myself on the back here, but I think I'm doing a pretty good job of like managing strategically.
Yeah.
I'm not building major modules on purpose because I think we might be too late in the floor to really get much benefit from them, but maybe that's foolishness. Okay, I'm going to take the food replicator upgrade. Okay, no monster spawns on that one, but it's starting to be pretty exposed here. And indeed, there's the end of the floor. Okay, these things are hitting really hard. Okay, so we have one more door available. But opening it does cause a kind of a weird situation. So like when I would depower these, some of these rooms are not powered by me, and so cannot be depowered by me. I could do this with the intent to run the elevator crystal through here, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe even that, and then just like leave all the characters here. How fast are you? Alright, so I guess we can gather everybody up here. I can go open the last door, get our last flush of resources. And then gather up. And I really haven't had to build too many towers. We're getting a really efficient use of our resources. It looks like we didn't even get monster spawns. Amabel, is it possible that I remember this game as being harder than it was? Because when I first played it, I was young and foolish. And now I'm
It has been
old
10
and
years.
foolish. All right, to the elevator. Sorry, merchant. Good luck. Please enjoy this explosion. I mean, we're doing it. We got a solid crew. The pug seems like a great party member.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing luck to roll the pug in the situation that we find ourselves in. I like there being a good reason to pick random in a game.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Industry generation, we'll get some food generation. No, we'll get a research station, which is almost as good. Auto dock shards, regen 4 heroes in the room. Health regen even higher for monsters. You know what? We don't need any of this stuff. We need tactical HUD. Adds 18 attack power to all heroes on this floor. This horribly unergonomic display is annoying and even painful to wear. but it does give your heroes data on enemy vulnerabilities. Horribly
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I like it.
Yeah.
The smoking gun here, a weapon from a crime scene adapted into a module. Beware of overheating. So this thing, it shoots really fast and does a lot of damage, but it burns itself out and then has to cool down for a while. It's one of the only turret that has to reload, basically. I think I'm gonna re-roll again. I'm looking for, yeah. As much as I'm not trying to be like boring or anything, this like food replicator is really good, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to argue with. What if I got more resources? So I didn't want to necessarily spend the whole. I kind of assumed we would get killed. So my plan was not necessarily to spend the whole stream doing this. I did want to ask people, just like, you know, it being the 10th anniversary or whatever. I didn't want to necessarily make a huge deal of it, but like, what are people's favorite like series that we ever did? What are people's favorite thumbnails? Here's the thing. I am a huge snob about my thumbnails, and I kind of think most other people on the platform have really bad thumbnail game.
I will say
maybe that's unattractive to admit.
No, I mean, I agree. And like when I make my thumbnails for my video essays, I'm mostly inspired by what will make you not ashamed of me. I never want to do a thumbnail where you're like, oh, that's kind of clickbaity, that's kind of tacky. So it's good. It's good that you have standards. And I'll say your because I saw some of your early thumbnails when we were looking at what your first LP was and whatnot. And I'll say your thumbnail game got better. It's very good now. The first ones were maybe not.
Yeah,
on par with what you do now.
So I remember, and I remember early on being like resistant to putting the episode number in the thumbnail, but I don't know why. I just remember feeling that way. If I'm being honest, probably, very probably, it is laziness. It's like, I don't want to update the fucking image every time I have to post an episode. That sounds terrible.
I've sat with you while you did a thumbnail for something, and it takes you a little bit to come up with how thumbnail is going to be, and then you do like the first 10, like in a row. So they're ready for you. And that seems less tedious.
You know who I think has a really good thumbnail game?
Who's that?
About Oliver.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are familiar with the Let's Player an astrophysicist of some kind, I believe. Or at least he used to be. I believe he did quit his job to become a full-time YouTube nerd. But he has, I think, really nice thumbnails. I will, in fact, upgrade this the rest of the way. Yeah, let me grab a YouTube tab here, and we can.
Yeah. My favorite series that you did. Now, I've enjoyed a lot of series that we've done together. But my favorite series, the one that like I have returned to more than once, and probably are responsible for a significant number of the views on, is Sunshine Heavy Industries. Because that was the first one that I like. We started talking, and I went to watch your work and you did all the little character voices, and I was like, all right. So that's always had like a special place in my heart.
So Amabel can't exactly. Let me feed Amabel a different thing that I'm currently feeding her. Yeah, this is This is about Oliver. This is a person that I watch sometime. This is one of my guys. The OBS share screen. OBS does not want to share screen. Sorry,
That's okay. I've seen about Oliver's thumbnails. I've watched some of the videos with you.
Okay, there we go. I got the camera rerouted. Yeah, he has a very stark style that I think is really cool and attention grabbing, and still like it's unmistakable what game it is.
Yeah,
and I would give this guy a general recommendation. I think Arc Raiders is kind of a bummer, but he is interesting to watch. He has some interesting thought processes. Unfortunately, he has recently played a lot of stuff I don't super have a ton of interest in watching, so it's been a while since I really dug in on one of his things, because I don't want to watch someone play 90 streams of Elden Ring. But yeah, see some people in the chat already familiar. Okay, let me talk about this. BBDDH says about Oliver is great. That guy has a fucking fascinating brain. This is the way to I'm so internet poisoned that I almost just said the word intergage in casual conversation. This is the way to engage with people on the internet, right? One of my least favorite things to see, and I will get in people's comments and yell at other people about this. One of my least favorite things to see is like the YouTuber or the streamer doesn't see some element of the UI or doesn't see something that they don't know to be important. And somebody in the comments is like, oh my God, it's painful to watch you not see the thing. Like, I will get in there and shout at people who talk like that. The thing you're watching for is not to see people recreate the perfect run. Or rather, if that's what you're watching for, bad. I want to reach through the internet and hit you on the nose with a rolled up newspaper. Stop being that way. Enjoy the diversity of the human mind. It is so fascinating to me to see how different people approach and solve problems. The kinds of information that are intuitively interesting and important to different people, and what they make of those things. And the best thing to look for in a YouTuber or a streamer, in my opinion, is somebody whose processes are interesting to you, not necessarily similar to yours, but who makes decisions you're like, that gives me, understanding their perspective gives me a different way of thinking about the information that I process or the world, or and then second is comedy. Also, it's good if they're funny.
I know that's what you value, and that's why when I've, sidekicked a series, or you've had me steering the series, I try not to have too much. Shame's not the word I'm looking for. I'm trying to get too much in my head about the ways in which I feel I'm deficient, because I know that you and presumably some of your viewers appreciate the ways my brain works differently than yours or theirs, or etc.
Yeah, I should hope so. The people who are watching my channel, I would like to think, are a little bit beyond that, like, oh, it hurts so much to see you miss, like, in part because the way I play games and the way I mentalize is going to drive those people away. I know that to be a fact.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say, having been of the two of us the one that's more likely to have read your comments, there are people who are like that, and they just keep watching, and I don't understand why. There are a couple people, and some people in the chat know who these people are, who will comment on every video in a series. I'm glad they're giving you the clicks. I'm glad they're giving you I guess commenting helps the algorithm. I don't know if that's true or not.
Maybe, yeah, we have no way of knowing, actually.
There's no way of knowing.
The magic of the algorithm is that it is ever-changing and mysterious. So we found our elevator, and we found actually a couple of dead ends now.
Well, while you're doing that, let me say that BVDDH says the thing that got them to start watching was the original Caves of Cud series. After someone posted it on the Cud subreddit that their favorite YouTuber is picking up the game. Jaina mentions you're into the Reach playlist. JB9515 mentions Renowned Explorers.
Yeah. I intend to bring Renowned Explorers up on a stream with you because I really want to see what your take on it will be. It's one of the things on the short list.
All right, we'll get to it after,
we'll get
20
to it.
more episodes of Hitman.
We can just
What?
call it good on Hitman. I thought it was good.
Look, the only reason why we haven't been playing Hitman lately is I fell down those stairs, so I could not operate the machine, and then I've been so wiped out this last week from one thing or another. I will do some more Hitman. I might not get to level 20. I might not be capable of it in a time frame that. Oh, that's neat.
He's fucking ruining my machines.
Well, he's just mad because they fired him after season 3. Any reward for that? Did I get the season number right?
I'm not sure. Wait, what are we talking about?
It's a Harmonite, and Harmon is the name of the man who show ran Community.
Okay. You are suggesting that as a Harmonite, it is a bud or offshoot of Dan Harmon in some way. Okay.
Yeah.
I apologize. I did not get that. That's on me.
Kiefer is asking, will you play the Hitman puzzle game?
I have played a Hitman puzzle game. When you say the Hitman puzzle game, are you talking about Hitman Go or? Because I played a bunch of Hitman Go. It wasn't on the channel because I don't think it's not that interesting, but that certainly has happened. What are we talking about?
We'll find out. Cornflake says Hitman isn't already a puzzle game. I mean, it is in a way. Robin says, I'm going to continue suffering to teach you a lesson. End quote, Amabel. No, I'm not. It's not. Look, I was enjoying the game. I get stressed out and I have a bad reaction to stress. There is a whole video on my channel about this that you can watch. I actually, the way that you, sweetheart, can handle it doesn't stress you out. Like, it's not like it is just a game to you, and that's astonishing to me that you're able to do that, because I have a whole bunch of thoughts about like my competence and embarrassing myself in front of people, and it's not a great instinct as someone who's guest appearing on your Let's Play channel. I'm trying my best.
Okay, so first of all, one thing I'd like to push back on gently is that you act like I'm unaffected by difficulty and stuff. I panic bad. But
right,
the panic
but
is
you're
fun. I think the difference between us is I think the panic is fun, and you think the panic is stressful.
Yeah.
And that is a big difference, to be fair.
Yeah. And I appreciate you being patient with me on that as I try to work through that. I'm trying to do a good... I don't want people to have a bad time on your channel.
Yeah,
that's... Yeah.
I was gonna say something else and I forgot what it was, so now I guess I'm not going to say it. Never mind. What on earth was I? Oh, I wanted to tell a little story. Okay, so,
yeah.
You talk about these people who are inexplicably... Oh, gosh. This is very bad indeed. The crystal is being totally owned. Creatures show up and defend it. Many monsters spawning adjacent to the crystal is bad news. What on earth? Where are these bugs going? They really don't like specifically that science generator? Okay, weird. There was a particular person who used to comment on the Endless Legend videos a lot, and on videos in general, but the Endless Legend videos in particular a lot. And just it was a Darkest Dungeon as well. I remember several Darkest Dungeon comments. This is a person who was commenting on the channel like from very early on, back when I was reading every comment. And I don't want the outcome of this story, or the takeaway of this story, to be like, and this is how he beat me. But it is a little bit true that like this person is part of the reason I don't read the comments anymore.
Okay.
But they would do that. They would comment constantly on almost every video about telling me I did something wrong, and often not even being mean about it, in a very neutral tone, but always, critical. And like somewhere between 90 and 95% of the time, they were just like very, very obviously, factually, plainly wrong. Like in the clearest and most obvious way that you could be. And I eventually, I started thinking that they were just, good faith, but maybe kind of dumb. And being like, oh my god, the crystal. Okay, we're fine. Everything's fine. This sucks, as you can see here. The situation we found ourselves in. We don't quite have enough power to light the back, but I'm gonna have to pull power from one of these rooms and set up proper defenses here if we're gonna keep pushing, and that means we're gonna have to have our defenses split, and it's not ideal. But eventually it's just it got to be a thing where if I was going to respond to this person and show them how their math was bad, or point out the timestamp of me explaining, they'll be like, you shouldn't have done that, you should have made this decision. And I will have in the video explained why, literally explained why I didn't do that.
Yeah.
And things like that. And, to point out the timestamp and reiterate the logic and stuff. It got to be such a fucking, first of all, dealing with them is a huge bummer. But also, it got to be such a time suck. They're definitely a factor in me no longer reading the comments. And I do think that's kind of a bummer, but it's just the people who are like that, they honestly don't care if they're right or not, as far as I can tell. It's just, they just want to be loud and kind of mean, and I don't really, I don't understand the motivation, personally.
Yeah, I've.
Boy, this seems like a tough one.
Let me tell you, as someone who has made games and put them out there in the world, people being loudly wrong is something I'm very familiar with, and it is a time suck. It is it's hugely I don't know, damaging. And I think I really envy your ability to just concentrate on your work and have, I think, a fair amount of faith in the quality of your work without looking for, comments to validate. Something I really admire about you.
Well, I appreciate that. I told you something the other day that I'm going to go ahead and reiterate here, because it is true. But I do think it makes me maybe feel a little bit bad. One of the critical differences between us, and the thing that really helps me personally, is that I have way less faith in other people than you do. To the extent that it's sort of you are worried that other people will think you are doing a bad job. And I, for the most part, if other people tell me they think I'm doing a bad job, I'm just like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're stupid, and I don't value your opinion, and that helps. It's not like maybe the nicest or most adult way to engage with people, but
I mean,
it helps. It helps a lot if you legitimately just don't think other people are worth listening to.
I mean, if you ask people, I don't care what people say. They'll tell you that. I think it's getting more true. Like I have a lot more self-confidence and self-esteem these past couple years, especially, and a lot more faith in my work. But I think because of the field I'm working in, which is a field that's traditionally portrayed as being a very STEMmy, mathy kind of field, and I'm not the most good at math or arithmetic. It creates anxiety for me, right? Whereas you're good at games and you're funny and entertaining.
I kind of know I'm good at games. There's part of me that's like,
I mean, I've been there when you've had doubts.
Yeah, there's part of me that will always be terribly insecure. But there's another part of me that's like, I have deep insecurities, and it's very easy for me to like get down on myself and stuff. But the moment somebody else suggests I'm bad at video games, it's like, it's fighting words, right?
Yeah.
My dukes are up, the knives are out. If you just get me talking, what I will say is, yeah, I'm like a huge idiot. But if you say I'm a huge idiot, my immediate response is gonna be, what the fuck did you just say to me?
Yeah.
And I don't know. That feels like a kind of madness.
No, but I mean, it's recognizable to me. And like, you've seen me fight with people on the internet. You know, and that is kind of like that fighting response.
I'm allowed to say I suck. If you told me I sucked, I wouldn't go all hackles up. I would believe you.
Well, I wouldn't say that to you either. If you did something like, if you ask, because sometimes you'll ask me about like, how is this thumbnail, or how is I got to be the first person to watch your Caves of Cud tutorial. You know, you asked for my feedback, and like, I will give you honest. I won't tell you suck, because you don't suck. I will give you honest feedback. You know, very occasionally I've had actual suggestions, not very often, because you're really good at your job and you have a strong sense of what you want the thing to be, how you want a thumbnail to look, how you want information to be presented. And even if it's not the way that I would make it or present it, like, there's a clarity of purpose and a clarity of vision that you know, I can recognize and respond to.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. So we're
likewise,
no,
go ahead. Well, likewise, I bounce stuff off of you sometimes. You watch some of my videos before, I mean, not before they go up for anyone else to see them though, and you give me feedback that is quite good, and I think a big part of why I think I've improved considerably in the last year with my video work. A lot of that is getting your feedback. So thank you. You're amazing.
That's very kind. So I want to say, I think we kind of, I like I said, I remembered this game being a little bit harder than it has turned out to be. I should have probably put it on easy. Um, there was a time when I was less good at games. Um, but I think you can see how this is sort of arcing already, like how I am
Yeah.
having to struggle more, how I am having to employ more defenses, and we're on floor 6 of like 14.
All right. Yeah. So if you want
So
to,
you can see how we would get to the place from here, but obviously we do not have time in the stream to make it to floor 14.
yeah.
So I think I'm gonna pull us
Yeah.
out here. If
Yeah,
y'all
'cause
don't
there
mind.
are also some time constraints on my
Yeah.
availability.
Yeah.
So
So that's the first game. The first game that we ever let's played over here at SB Productions. It's a good game. I don't know if you've heard of this company Amplitude. They make video games, and I like those video games a bunch. And I think you should like them too. Oof, I played EYU
man,
Divine
I wish we had
Cybermancy.
gotten out your wheel.
The wheel?
Yeah.
The glorious blood wheel?
Yeah, I wish we got out the glorious blood wheel.
Why would you invoke it in speech? Oh, now I'm gonna start having the dreams again.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Well, I saw it in the background of the gas cave. It reminded me, it's some of the channel lore.
I do still have, it's in one of the boxes under the bed, I think, which is a horrifying place for it.
So we're in the third part of the stream where we're going to do recommendations, and I have
Are we?
a recommend.
Damn, all right. Amabel's in charge today. I'm putting up the text crawl. Fuck it. Well, welcome to phase 3.
I have a recommendation because today was the day is the 10-year anniversary of you uploading an LP. You know what yesterday was?
What's that?
The 10-year anniversary of Arcade Pit.
That's yes. Was that yesterday? I thought it was today.
Or maybe it was. Well, the first video is dated December 6th.
Okay.
So it was yesterday. So I'm gonna recommend Arcade Pit. We recommended Arcade Pit before. I'll recommend it again.
It bears some talking about.
Show.
Yeah, it bears some talking about. It is your favorite game show. It's my favorite game show.
It was my favorite game show because there is. So you want to win a penis pump?
So you want to win a penis pump is very strong. Yeah, Arcade Pit is something really special, and they've been doing some celebratory 10-year content because they have more of a handle on the scale of linear time than I do, so they remember to do things. But Arcade Pit is hosted over here on youtube.com/SmiteLP. Smite is the person who hosts the weekly game show. They have gone 10 years without missing a single week. And in fact, on many weeks, they have done two game shows or even more on special occasions. And it is just like, if you remember that old game show Nick Arcade, it has kind of a similar overall structure to Nick Arcade, where it's like there's a map, and the teams take turns moving a little figure around the map, and whenever they move the figure to a new square, a random prize is discovered on that square. On Nick Arcade, of course, they had that Nickelodeon budget. They were giving away like shoes and mountain bikes or whatever. Not a lot of money running through the arcade pit. It's all volunteer work and everything. So the prizes are mostly in-game things like decorations for their team's name bar and stuff. But they play a lot of video games, especially a lot of video games from like the 8 through 32-bit eras. Stuff where emulation is real solid, and they have some fantastic like quiz show stuff around the games. My favorite event, personally, my favorite one of the recurring segments is Screen Crap, where they show you screenshots from 3 video games, usually screenshots that were taken to be deceptive in some way. and you have to try to guess what game the screenshots come from. And it's just a good time. It's a delightful time watching big nerds. There's a lot of people from the speedrun community and indie developers who participate. It's extremely inclusive and queer friendly. A lot of trans people are in the arcade pit regulars crew. Their co-host is trans, and yeah, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. I think everybody should check out Smite's Arcade Pit if you haven't. That's a big recommend from me. As well, to overwrite Amabel's recommend, which was small and weak.
Okay.
Smite is also doing a crazy thing where he has rigged a bunch of people who are into speedruns and the sort of weird video game culture on the internet might be familiar with the idea of a damage shuffler, which is a machine that you rig a bunch of video games up to. It's very common to do it with something like Mega Man, where like you'll have it hooked up to the first 6 Mega Man games, and when you start playing, it'll start playing a random one of them, and every time you take damage, it will jump to a different game, but it will save your state, it will save your progress in the game that you were just playing. And eventually you may get dropped back into that at the moment that you initially took damage. And so it just bounces you as you get hit between the 6 games or whatever. Smite has, I believe, 210 different games rigged up to his damage shuffler at this point, including some things where the definition of damage has to be stretched considerably for them to fit into the concept. But it's very interesting to watch him play it, and he has now, I believe, he's been playing it for quite some time. He has cleared 110 of the games, but he has rigged up a way for chat to donate enough to reset cleared games.
Oh no.
So to let me show this thing that he posted on Blue Sky. So you can see here he's got stuff on here like there's a lot of Mega Mans, there's a lot of NES titles. Kururin is on here. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, Sonic CD, the Tailspin game. Man, putting Kururin on here seems like a crazy thing to do. Monopoly? I'm not even sure how you take... I would assume anytime you lose money, probably, in Monopoly, it counts as taking damage.
Oh.
But yeah, this is crazy stuff. And Smite's just like an affable... He's a pleasant dude. He's cool to listen to. This is definitely some of the video game culture stuff that I get up to.
Yeah, you and I actually talked to him. We did an interview with him, and he was really generous with his time and very kind.
Yeah, for your video essay about your favorite game shows, which is
I did the video essay, and then we did a follow-up interview. You and I, yeah.
I'm
glad you were there.
An excellent video essay. Everybody check out Amabel's video essays.
Oh, no, let's not do this.
It's too late. We're doing it. This is also a strong recommend.
What are you doing? No, you can't recommend me every week.
I can, and I'm doing it. Also, I just realized there was no backing track playing. Terrible lack of professionalism. Check this out. Look at all these fucking video essays about games. Rules as played, player counts, mechanisms as metaphors. Did you know Kurt Vonnegut designed a board game? Well, he did, kind of. I mean, pretty much. And this video game will fill you in on all the meanings of the words I just said. Check that out. Check all that shit out. It's rad.
All right, you.
Cornflake says, damage shuffler sounds very punishing. Yes, it is. It is incredibly cruel. It's an incredibly cruel thing to do to yourself, even when it is just Mega Man games. And more so when it's this. Rubble Saver 2. Man. Mega Q-Birch. Tecmo Super Bowl? I guess if you get tackled, maybe? I don't know. Smite's good people. I just,
Yeah.
I like the things that they do over there at that arcade pit. We got to get on arcade pit. When your life calms down a little bit, we got to get on that arcade pit.
Yeah, I would like that. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah. Also recommendations from other people. Let's see what we got here. BVDDH says Super Bunny Hop uploaded a video where he shows some interesting games from his inbox, including that Taxi Collectathon that SB played. Yeah, that game is neat. That video, Super Bunny Hop does some good stuff. I've seen some videos over there. People are talking about the teeth being the knives of the face. Which is true. Yeah, from my recommendations, I have recommendations. Who says I don't? It has been, it's been tough lately. I've been feeling a lot of tough. I've been feeling a lot of bad feelings. And so I have not been getting to as many things as I would ordinarily like to get to. But I did see some pretty good video essays lately that I wanted to shout out. This particular piece from the Relaxed Movement is making this sound way more dramatic than it needs to be. Quick, Amabel, be wacky.
Whoa!
All right, nice.
Whoa!
Nice, you're doing it.
I'm doing it.
So I said that, and then I completely forgot. What was I watching? The other... Oh, my brain is... I'm so stressed lately that my memory is even worse than it often is. So I'm literally like looking through my YouTube history now to try to find what video essays I watched recently, because I made a note in my head. I was like, okay, I will talk about this this weekend, and now I can't remember.
I did just post a link to the official Knives of the Face t-shirt.
Hey, you know what's fun? Amabel makes these t-shirts.
This is a thing you said. You said this thing while opening a package with your teeth.
Yeah. Well, I said I don't remember exactly the circumstances, but let me reconstruct what almost certainly occurred. Which is that generally when you get a package, or when I get a package, I have a trusty pocket knife that I use to open such things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just the other night, was it yesterday? You came in here. You came in here and you said, "Hey, I got a bunch of packages. Please come knife these for me." Right? So this is the thing that happens all the time. What happened, I'm sure, is that one of us got a package and I was like, "Okay, let me get my knife." Actually, that sounds like a night. Walking all the way to I don't know where the knife is. Walking all the way to the knife sounds like a nightmare. I'm gonna kill it with my face. And then I was justifying that out loud. Here's why it is okay that I am doing the thing I'm doing, because the knives are just the teeth are just the knives of the face when you think about it.
The exact quote that I have on this t-shirt is, in many ways, teeth are like the knives of the face. They are knives you are always carrying in your pocket. The mouth is like the pocket of the face. I think that last part is what really completes it. What makes it beautiful.
Yeah, I'm real dumb is the thing.
The thing about that t-shirt that's fun is that I've only ever sold one of them, and that's to Jaina, I believe.
Well, I very much appreciate that. If you buy those t-shirts,
we get $1.
We get $1. So
We sell enough T-shirts.
So
We
I
can get
wanna-
a pizza.
So I want to be clear to everybody that I am not like begging you to buy our t-shirts because it really almost doesn't benefit us at all. But I do think that they are funny. I do think that it is very funny that they exist. Okay, I found one of the video essays that I wanted
Okay.
to call out. It's not even a video essay. It's just like a fucking film. It's just like a 90-minute film. It is called somewhat deceptively. It is called "We Survived the Worst Music Festival of the Year."
Oh, right. I saw part of that.
Yeah, it is I think actually very interesting. It is on the YouTube channel Evasive. And I am going to pull the thing down here. Wow. Limited edition merchandise. It's true, Jana. Listen, if there only ever is one of them, no matter how many of them we're willing to sell, that is a very limited edition. So we survived the worst music festival of the year on the channel Evasive. Evasive is a sort of like a film YouTuber whose gimmick, for the last like a year or a couple has been having groups of people watch movies that are particularly offensive to that group of people or potentially are, and seeing do people actually feel, what if we had gay people watch I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, how would they feel about the film? What if we had trans women watch, oh geez, just so many different films, but like for example, Jack and Jill, the movie where Adam Sandler plays a female Adam Sandler, or trans guys watch She's the Man. And honestly, these videos they have kind of clickbaity thumbnails, I think, to the point that they're like obviously sort of parodizing clickbait thumbnails. And they have kind of clickbait premises, but honestly, they're really interesting. And like the video about Myra Breckenridge has a ton of great history, and it's like these are good. Generally, I'm saying, hey, these are good. But she and her friends tried to go to Bonnaroo, and one of her friends basically made a short film. It's not about that, I would say, but that has that as the backdrop, and I think it's actually very good. We survived the worst music festival of the year. I recommend this thing. I think it's very good. Also, so many of her other videos are good. This has been, her channel has been basically my entire media exposure to Amelia Perez, and I can't fucking, like, it makes me so mad that thing exists. I can't even. Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk about was the Defunctland video. Because Defunctland released a video, and we didn't really do a proper
4-hour, 18-minute video.
It is a 4-hour and 18-minute video about Disney's living characters, a broken promise. And I think it's maybe his best work ever. And I'm a huge fan of Defunctland. I will sing the praises of his insane videos, to the rafters. But I think Disney's living characters may be his best work ever. Okay. If you get into it and you're like, you didn't know about Defunctland. I don't know how many people know about Defunctland. I feel like Defunctland's a pretty big channel, but YouTube series dedicated to pop culture history with a focus on extinct theme park and themed entertainment experiences, basically about dead theme parks or parts of theme parks that are dead or rides that are dead. Here's a video about the bizarre Garfield dark ride that you can't get on anymore, the awful Wiggles dark ride.
I saw both of those recently.
They're good, videos. Right? Like,
yeah,
this stuff doesn't necessarily sound like it would be. I don't care that much about roller coasters or whatever, but these videos are consistently fascinating to me because he does really interesting research and he contextualizes things in a way that makes you care. Oh, the documentary he did about the what's it called? Live from the Space Stage, about the fake science fiction band that used to play at Disney. Fascinating, fucking fascinating stuff. He also did a series on the Muppet Show at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see if it is pulled out into its own. I guess this is probably the Jim Henson playlist. Sorry, I don't want to do that. I want to look at the playlist. I don't want to play his video into. Yeah, I think the Jim Henson stuff that he did is really fascinating, and he did a cool intro for these and everything. Man, so many people are doing so much really fascinating stuff out there on the internet. I get a little like, I'm happy that I live in an era of so much interesting work being done, but it does give me a little bit of the imposter syndrome.
Sweetheart.
I'm just like, I should be doing something better and more interesting than the thing I'm doing.
The thing you've been doing it for 10 years and people like it. You can do more if you want to do more.
I don't think I can. I can't even do what I am doing. That's why my declining health is...
But what you're doing it helps people. It's entertaining. It helps them find things. Don't sell yourself short.
Okay, I appreciate that. We don't have to turn this into a cheer up SB-a-thon. I'm fine. Well, I'm not fine, but the ways in which I'm not fine have nothing to do with this.
I think you're great. I think you're fantastic.
Okay.
You're amazing. You're splendid.
Okay. All right.
Magnificent.
Coming around the bend, turning into annoying. What are people in the chat saying? Evasive. They used to know about stuff. I don't know what's going on. SB, you are literally the media I consume most voluntarily. That's very sweet. I appreciate that. I meant it when I said we don't need to turn this into a cheer me up. I'm fine. Or, the thing I said, the other thing I said. But yeah, it's just like, there's so much good stuff going on, being put out into the world, and I just hope everybody can find things that they love to help them feel present in the world and to value the things that other people put into the world. There's some fucking dark times. We are all having some long, long years right now. And it really is important to me that we take time to consciously get our head into a different space than that. Because the world's going to be there when you come back.
Yeah, I think on that note...
We'll cheer up whoever we damn well please. All right, fuck. I can't really argue with that. Anyway, on that note, apologies for the sort of the weirdness, the YouTube schedule, especially where Amabel is concerned, because Amabel has had a string of cartwheeling emergencies. And so we're just hanging on with both hands over here. Things will get back to normal eventually, for some definition of normal. But it might be a week or two. It might be a week or two before we're back at normal.
Yeah.
Or honestly, maybe longer, depending on how some things happen. So we're trying, y'all.
But we'll be back next week for a stream, and
there's videos to come out. There's videos to come out in the meantime. Let me tell you something. At the very least, I got to discharge this backlog of Hades episodes.
Yeah. And we'll so go out and find things that you love and come back to us with them.
Yeah, bring stuff back. Let everybody know. Holy crow, it's a lot. I just looked at the Hades backlog. It's a lot.